Why do you think it is that the Philippines seems to be the core area where a lot of this talent comes from, versus obviously there's like many places which have maybe lower wages than Western society? Why the Philippines?
Yeah, it's cool, huh? It's kind of like, when you think of banking, you think of Swiss banking, and when you think of offshore staffing, you often think of Filipino professionals. Often they're associated with VAs, but actually you can get any kind of professional in the Philippines. Look, significantly, it is in the sweet spot of the salaries are cheaper here. You can generally save about 70% on your costs, 70. It's been doing offshore staffing for about 30 years, really as long as technology has enabled it. So the Philippines and India are the two biggest nations by far that basically do offshore staffing. And you've got the Tim Ferriss kind of VAs, but also you have a massive industry here that supports services and basically kind of is the back end or even the front end for all of the world's biggest brands like American Express and Facebook and Google and Netflix. Zoom is in the Philippines. Every single major brand has an office here in the Philippines. JP Morgan, Citibank, and so a lot of the workforce is done from here. It's the world leader in offshore staffing.
And obviously, sometimes, as you mentioned there, like Tim Ferriss and the whole VA process that has been around for a few years now. When people have kind of made the jump to bringing on some virtual support and global support, what do you think are some of the errors people make? Because I know that I hear a lot from people. They're like, "Oh, I tried a VA and it didn't work," or "I tried a VA and it wasn't right for me." Obviously, like if you can, have that sort of reduction, that 70% reduction in cost, it is great. Like, what are some of the big mistakes that people make though when it comes to bringing on some virtual support?
Yeah, look, first of all, VAs are good because they bring awareness to the country, and kind of Upwork is good as well. But, you get this in Australia, you get this in the US. And I generally say offshoring is exactly the same as employment in Australia or the UK or the US. You have part-timers, you have full-timers, you have professionals, you have casual class, you have MBA graduates from the Ivy League universities, and you also have pretty average people. People generally, when they go VAs, they aren't seeking the professional class. They are getting people that work from home. They are getting people that haven't had a brilliant, stellar career, don't have an amazing CV. They are happy with $2 or $3 an hour. And then what do you expect, Whereas there are Harvard graduates, Oxbridge graduates in the Philippines. There are MBAs in the Philippines. There are people that have incredible careers in the Philippines. Yes, they cost more than $2 an hour, but they are still at a 70% discount to what you would pay for that equivalent person in Australia or the US. So, don't go too cheap. Get professionals is one of the major things. And, also the environment, get them full time, get them working from an office. All of those things will help you avoid the sort of all of that frustration that is so common with outsourcing.